Okay, everyone, we're going to talk today a little bit more about the comma. We had a video last week that told us that we used it, how to use it in addresses. And today we're going to look at some other, and in lists. That was the other thing that we talked about. Today we're going to look at some more ways to use it. It's a very important tool in writing. So let's look at the first part. So as I mentioned in another video before, we use a comma before and after quotations. For example, John said, comma, I wish I had a carrot. Or, I wish I had a carrot, John said. That comma is super important, and you're going to need it for the rest of your life beyond school. So make sure you use it correctly in whatever writing that you're going to be doing coming up. Okay? Now, here's another way that we use it. After words of introduction, use a comma after words that introduce a sentence, like this. First, comma, we have to check the recipe. Second, comma, we have to go to the supermarket. After that, we need to mix all of the ingredients. Next, Mom will help us with the oven. However, if she is too busy, Dad will help. Finally, we will be able to eat. Now, let's get started. And you can almost hear the comma, you can almost hear the pause that I make when I speak. So if I say first, we have to check the recipe, there's a little bit of a break in there. So the comma is not just how we read and write, it's often how we speak. Okay, so it's very important when it's used after these kinds of words. We also use a comma after sentences with if, when, and while. So what I mean by that is that there are these things called clauses. They're like baby sentences inside of a sentence. And after we use those baby sentences, those clauses, we'll use a comma like this. If it rains tomorrow, comma, come over and play. If it is sunny, comma, let's ride our bikes. When I am hungry, comma, I have a snack. When I was younger, I watched Paw Patrol. I still watch Paw Patrol. While I was sleeping, comma, it started to rain. So you see how these sentences have an if, a when, or a while? Once we get that little part out of the way, if it rains tomorrow, or if it's sunny, then we use a comma. The main part of the sentence is this: let's ride our bikes. I watched Paw Patrol. It started to rain. This is some extra information, and we separate it from the main sentence by using a comma. So there's actually one more comma on this page that I mentioned earlier, but I didn't put a circle around it, and that's up here. However, if she is too busy, comma, Dad will help. It's one of these if clauses. Okay? So if you're going to use if, when, and while, be sure you use one of these commas, okay? If you have words of introduction, be sure to use a comma. And in lists and addresses, and believe it or not, there are many more uses. But that's all we're going to talk about now. I hope it helps. There's no exercise that goes along with this, but you're going to have some writing coming up. So please use what you've learned about the comma. The end.